Good evening, everyone. Super League fans and managers, or mostly managers, let's be honest. Um, good to have you. Good to have you for game week eight-ish of the Super League. I think it's next week or the week after we're catching up with postponed games, but so far it is what it is. Call comes this evening, hopefully with the technical issues sorted. The famous Foss Road manager, Mr. Swartz. How are you doing?
Famous for fucking missing out on playoffs every year. Last gasp time, heartbreak every time. Yeah, great fun. Yeah,
That's good.
glad to be on.
Glad to have you on. And by the way, if you can't hear him or if anyone has problems with the audio or anything, please, of course, drop a note as usual. It says that the desktop audio is on, so you should be able to hear him. So hopefully all good.
Fingers
Ross
crossed.
says evening all, early game is possible. Indeed, as usual, if you've got any requests, fire them into the chat and we'll see what we can do. Exciting stuff coming up this evening. First of all, what do you think about your own game this evening? You've got East Coast. If they're off to sort of a decent start, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely flying in there. Are they still they're still unbeaten?
Yeah.
I don't see that changing tonight. In all honesty, uh, expect 3 points for the away team. Um, Dimble knows what he's doing. He's got that star against his name now. He's continue the domination for a little while yet, I think.
Yeah, we'll see how they we'll see how you get on. But I think a lot of people would have would have backed you to be like the a potential stumbling block for them. But we'll see how the evening pans out, and we'll obviously see how the result goes. Haggis against Exiles, another big game. Northern Burn, who are off to not a great start, taking on Los Santos, and Ross with Sancte take. Oh, sorry, Ross is taking on Colchester. Sluts and Dudley, Stanley Badgers, Vikings, Stackington. Sort of, I know it's still kind of early days with sort of 7, 6 games played. I guess East Coast, I mean, maybe the dominance is a little bit unexpected, but result-wise, we expect them to be up there. Are there any clubs that you see like that are sort of in new? I'll scroll down just so we don't see East Coast. Are there any of the other teams that you see that are sort of in unusual or unexpected positions that anything
Yeah,
that kind of
well,
stands out to you?
the one that stood out to me straight playing above themselves, and to be honest, I don't think they've played any of the bigger teams yet. So it does belie them in their position. Is the team me just above me, Los Santos? I said that I didn't wrong has at least six above them, and then he's proved me wrong so far. Done really well. Like a bit above themselves. Um,
Mm,
but then also, I don't think they've played an East Coast yet. I don't
mm,
think they've played an Exiles or a Hag. Be
mm.
wrong. I usually am. But it does feel like those 7 games have been those teams in them bottom 3 or 4 positions.
Mhm.
So
Mm. Well,
me,
mhm.
that
We'll
well,
see.
that might
As
be
a
me projecting, to be honest. But who knows?
could be still a long way to go of the season, of course. We're roughly, I guess, coming up to a third of the way through ish, or a little bit less, a quarter maybe. I can't count. It's okay. Roughly between
Be a quarter.
between a
If there's
quarter and a
14,
third.
it'd be about a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Good. Well, we'll see if we have any manager matchups already. I can see Ross has asked to go early. We'll see if Dan's about, but we'll just see if we've got any obvious manager matches already of the people in the comments. Sloths manager Alpha's here, Stackington manager. So we've actually got Stackington and Vikings in the house already. Both Alex and Steve are here, so we could go early with that. Obviously, Campbell's here as well with Exiles. Not sure if Neil's going to be around, but that's another one we could do. But I'm all for starting with Vikings against Stackington. Alex, of course, has made a couple of changes. I think he mentioned that as well. And Steve, of course, have Liberani back, so that's the main story there. But let's have a look at Stackington first. Then, um, tactical change for them. They've gone narrow in sort of in search of bigger, better things. Maybe one thing we can touch upon just quickly is the transfer that took place. So they've got Nakata and Bobby Petta coming in, and Dakur has gone out to East Coast. I don't think East Coast necessarily needed strengthening, but do you think Nakata coming in for Stackington, eventually Petta as well on the wing, is that a deal that kind of makes sense for you? I mean, he was lacking width, but
Hang on, have I? Uh, can you still hear me? My cat's
kind of.
fucking wandering across the fucking laptop, and I've just put airplane mode on, so I assumed I'd disappeared. It's one of those where I think looking for some more attacking presence, even with Joe and Inzaghi up front doing scoring goals. Cole really chipped in with anything, so he's brought Nakata in, I believe, to try creative moving forward.
Mhm,
He's got plenty of DMs in sort of much of a muchness of Gravison, Baronio, Guigu. Yeah, I think they're all sort of 6 out of 10, 7 out of players. So I don't think he needed another one in decor. Um, he's got 2 for 1 deal there. It's not
mhm,
not the worst deal. Um, but the switch to narrow is interesting. It I thought he looked sort of 7, um, but as he said, he creating much
mhm,
because of the
mhm.
2 AMs behind
Yeah.
Inzaghi.
Wow.
Took a few sort of a bit of whip from work. It was worked for the
Mhm.
Sloths plenty of times.
Oh,
So yeah, it'd be interesting.
we'll see.
Front with Inzaghi's interesting as well. Defoe was doing really well for his tail end of last season, so and Inzaghi.
Yeah. We'll see if
So
we'll see how Inzaghi will work in the two, of course. But yeah, high hopes, I'm sure. We'll see how Stackington goes. Vikings, as I mentioned. Oh, we'll get some squad numbers on there. Oh, he's near enough full again. Okay. Vikings, as I think I mentioned a couple of times, it looked as if they're off to a flyer the first couple of games, and then it's kind of petered out a little bit. They did have a decent-ish result, I guess, last time Los Santos, that 1-1 draw. Liverani's back for them. That's kind of a big one, of course. Emerton, I believe, is left out. He is back, but he's only on 74% fitness, so that would be why. Vikings, do you see them picking up the pace sooner rather than later, or are they going to continue to kind of stumble a little bit?
if you're looking at that as a sort of barren period, the only team they really got big close to are flying at the top of the table.
Hmm.
And Haggis who are second. So
Yeah.
can't really fault them for losing to those 2 teams. The sort of the outlier there, probably a draw with Sancte,
Hmm.
where they'd probably expect to win that one.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, no, that's a fair point.
But yeah, it's a decent result against Fulchester, a decent result against Slot,
Mhm,
where they are in the league that you'd sort of hope to be beating. Good point against Los Santos. So yeah, it's not there's nothing there that would mean
mhm,
for the manager duo there.
mhm, mhm.
Um, I think they've got players there to get them out of any
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how they go tonight anyway. It's the Vikings kicking off the evening against Stackington. We'll see if Inzaghi and Defoe dynamic duo can get something out of it. They can start by swapping the keeper. Casillas on
Well,
four
that's not
minutes.
a good start.
That's perhaps not what he wanted. I'm not gonna wait for Alex to confirm because I, I can't imagine what other options he would potentially go with here.
Yeah, I mean that's 100% what's going to happen there, isn't it?
So I think we should be crack on, he says. Have you got an aeroplane above your house or something at the moment?
That would be my wife has just started running a bath and
Ah,
it's
that's
below the
okay.
fucking Apparently, I'm re couple of words at the start of the sentence. It's potentially
Huh.
mine's it. We're not
Oh,
sure.
right, okay. I'm not sure. Well, we'll crack on with this one then. If the audio gets much worse, then someone can say it kind of sounds all right for me,
Hopefully,
but we'll see how it goes. I'll fire on the game again, and we can recap at halftime and see how it's going. Um, so yeah, definitely not the start that Stackington wanted. Although do believe that Given has played a game and got an 8. I would say that he's probably one of the
very backup to be fair, isn't he? So
yeah, one of the strongest backup keepers for sure in the league, I would suggest. And it is Inzaghi and Defoe that combines for the opener. I think Inzaghi got the assist for that one. Defoe on 20 minutes opening the scoring for the visitors. And yeah, maybe a game that Vikings were hoping to win and get back to sort of slightly better times for them. But they're struggling against the narrow formation of Stackington here. They've had a couple of chances, but could there be a shot on goal? It could be Kluivert with a shot on goal equalising just before half time. So a pretty exciting first half there. Plenty of action at both ends. Stackington Vikings 1-1 at half time. Deserved based on that, would you say?
absolute slobber knocker. So yeah, very much. And Shea Given coming straight in with an 8 there. It's very off. I think deserved on the face of it. 4 shots on target each. It's
Hmm.
certainly a sort of outlier for
Yeah.
both of them so far.
And an assist for Inzaghi there is mentioned. So interesting striking partnership. I don't think many people saw that one coming before the start of the season. Hersey, who's back in AMC after a bit of a break. I think he was down at central midfield last week, but getting the assist there and Patrick Kluivert with the scoring. We'll see if any of the managers wants to do anything. Alex wants to swap Rivaldo and Cole. He is entitled to do that. We'll see how that benefits them in the long run. Oh, and
Yeah, it's given 45 minutes each. Yeah.
the thing is working, so all good. So it was Campbell remotely breaking my
Kieran's
computer.
okay. Yeah. The Haggis
So
curse has been broken. Yeah.
all good, and crack on then till 60 for both manager or for the managers from now on. So let's see. Early days here in the second half, Liberani and Chiotis doing something together. I'm not entirely sure what. Hersey handballs. That's a free kick. No yellow card given though. Ronaldo with a free kick. And no goal, deflecting off the wall, perhaps. Patsasoglu, who as mentioned, retained his place. Oh, and there is Kluivert. Um, but it isn't Kluivert. Mark's
Oh,
shield is blown for offside. Manager will be disappointed with that, probably celebrating already, but sadly. Let's see if Stackington can go and get a goal here then. Rivaldo lines it up, free kick taken. Terry wins the header there. We'll pause for another quick break. So yeah, exciting stuff at the beginning of the second half. Clover there with a goal ruled out for offside, which obviously then doesn't count as a shot. Stackington then had a shot. So they technically have had the slightly better of the start of the second half. Any major changes you see coming from any of the managers at this point, or any that you would
no,
make?
I'd be blinking if I was either team at this point. I mean, slightly wide ratings there, 6s and 7s, with only the keeper on an 8 for Stackington. Slightly more 8s and 7s with no 6. Yeah, 1 6 there for.
Hmm.
I, I,
Hmm.
I wouldn't really be blinking there if I was either manager. Sort of,
Yeah.
yeah.
This also depends on the options
Neither
you have.
Ben. I'm going to
Y-
say neither got any game winners. You'd say maybe Morientes for Stackington,
Mm,
rather than Inzaghi, and Inzaghi's the one who's been scoring the most. So I think started with, in fairness.
yeah,
Yeah.
he'll probably keep them on. Well, we'll see. Alex obviously likes making changes. One of the few managers that often make changes at 45 as well. So we'll see if he does anything here. Obviously, contemplating that at the moment, perhaps moving the centralized players back out again. Morientes is an option from the bench, of course. Um, yeah, we'll see what he does. Meanwhile, at Vikings, as you mentioned, everyone doing pretty well. You're not taking off Ferdinand because he's on a six. That's probably nothing to worry about. Claudio Lopez perhaps could come on. Probably difficult to see if anyone else would make a huge difference, but seems as if both managers are still pondering their options. So we'll see if who blinks first, so to speak. Who's the first one to go as is and miss the opportunity if the other one does something? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean the only real sort of option there is Simeone that
Hmm.
did so well a couple of seasons ago. Uh, there's no need to change any of those three sort of defensive midfield options in there. So
Yeah, Steve
yeah,
says he's
yeah,
gonna stick. We'll see
I think
if
Steve's right to do
Alex.
that. So yeah,
We'll see if Alex wants to do something here. Of course, in the last couple of games, oh, he's taken in Sagi off, possibly for Morientes or presumably for Morientes.
yeah.
I mean, Morientes can be a game winner, of course, if you look at his stats. He has been a bit of a, I was going to say a super sub, but he hasn't scored, so so maybe not
One
as
of those
super.
basically the bare minimum when he's coming on. Yeah.
Unless Alex makes changes, says Steve.
Yeah, I think that's
Reasonable. I mean, Inzaghi's not been in the best form in the last couple of games. I think he scored a few in the beginning, and that was
not,
about it. So, but
and that's probably the yeah sort
yeah,
of
the thinking probably. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
He sticks with that. Let's get fired into the last 30 minutes and see if either side can find a winner. It looks as if Kluivert is absolutely desperate to get involved. He had another good chance there and another one, and there's John Terry picking up a knock. Manager will probably be pleased he didn't use
Mm,
his substitution. That's a tough one to replace. Who do you pull back? I
Pat Soglu.
presume, yeah, I presume
Yeah,
Simeone is going to be the
that's
one coming on, but where's he going to go?
I'd probably assume Evan Nilsson and then because Pat Soglu
Ah,
on the
true,
right
could
instead,
be, yeah,
and
indeed.
then Evan Nilsson would be the straight swap at right wing back.
Yeah, indeed. That's what he's going with as well. Well spotted. I forget, for some reason, I always think that Evan Nilsson is a left-sided, but that's someone called something similar, I guess. We'll swap Evan Nilsson and Peter Sokol around. That's good. That's all good.
Yeah, do square pegs round holes. That sort of makes the most sense.
Hmm. Indeed, that's what he does. I believe Batshuayi has occasionally filled in at DC for Hodgie back in the day. I think he's one of the managers that really rates him. Let's see if it makes any big difference here. I think Bobo Balde just picked up a yellow card. Um, Arca comes forward. He's been doing pretty decently on that left-hand side. Nothing game-breaking, but done well enough. Looks as if at most of the chances have still been coming from the Vikings, but it finishes 1-1. He was class in central midfield for Lettersford, says Steve Wright. Indeed, he possibly was. Plenty of shots from Vikings, not many of them on target, unfortunately for them, and ultimately a 1-1 draw. Good performances though overall from Vikings, and as mentioned, Arca has been doing all right, and he actually gets the Man of the Match award. Um, your thoughts on that one? A fair result, all things considered.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Boils there. It's very, very eerily similar to Edwards' game last week, where
Mm,
I snuck it 1-0. His
mhm,
ratings were far better. Look, eights and nines across the board. So taking a point there, I
mhm,
think you've got to take the positives from that if you're the Vikings manager.
mhm,
And
mhm,
if you're Alex, you start trusting that process with that central because you're getting points, far more chances created,
mhm.
and Jermaine Defoe flying in that formation. So
Jermaine Defoe scoring. Best substitution for Stackington was the keeper, says Alf. Not a big fan of Iker
yeah,
Casillas, obviously. Shay Given, if we look at it here, he has had, I mean, can feel a little bit hard done by by getting dropped with a 783 average, but we'll see if Casillas is injured. He's on 29 condition, so we probably won't see him back next week, but yeah, more on that to follow for sure. Someone asked if Ross
Sam
wanted to go
Tate.
early as well. I've not seen Dan about. We're also still missing Mr. Edwards. I know Scott wanted to go early as well. So I will just give them a little bit longer, and then I'll get you guys on next. But I think we're gonna go with um, Managers, games where we have the managers. I believe slots against Dudley would be an option because Stee is here now against Alf, and I'm interested to see how this one plays out. So I think that's where we're going to be heading next. Sloths, a couple of changes for them. Amoroso comes back. Håkan Mild is back at the DMC as well. Raymer into the middle, and Giovanni gets his debut, I believe it is, on the right hand side, or is it his debut? Uh, oh, it is indeed his
Yeah,
debut.
so
Yeah,
it's,
he's
it
had
was
a
the same Giovanni of league. Looks pretty good to be fair.
mhm.
Interesting to see how he gets on.
Yeah, so and Amoroso's back, obviously, who had a good start to the season. Shiro got a run last time out, didn't work out. Amoroso straight back in there. That Giovanni looks good, says Steve. Well, we will see. It was a Fiore who scored the goal for Sloss, I believe it was last time out, and he obviously still plays. But yeah, there's a solid side in there. Alf mixes it up a bit. He likes the kind of wide now. If we concede three again, I'm going back to narrow, he says. So we shall see. Steve Rolls, he's still without his two main AMCs, but I believe both Franca and San had a pretty good game last time out in that kind of shocking 4-0 hammering of Stanley, with the first 20 minutes being kind of insane, spoiling it a little bit for the opposing manager, to put it mildly. Not quite as bad as Dan's evening was spoiled, but still relatively bad. But yeah, Dudley, strong start to the season. They're up in fourth. They're not going to drop out of that top six at any point, are they? They're just going to kind of
No,
stee
absolutely
along,
zero. Absolutely 60 gets anywhere below top 3 or 4 this season. Yeah, yeah.
especially with Collins and Nikiforenko back. That's a strong side, I think,
Mm.
with the players
So
he's got
so
here.
when it's at the start of the season, after seeing some of his transfers and the sort of the age and experience of the players,
Mm.
that back four, the average age there must be well into.
Montero probably the youngest at 33, Cafu
That's what I'm
34,
thinking.
Maldini 36, and Roberto 31,
At
obviously.
31, oh, he's younger than I thought he
Carlos.
was. I'm surprised not in front of them as well. It's just sort of it's a very much a win now
Yeah, well, we'll see what he
season
makes with
where
Steve.
the sort of the yeah, exactly. So it's this stage in the save sort of 4 seasons in where most people, what was the younger players at the start of the season,
Mm-hmm.
myself included, has decided that to throw caution to the wind and go,
Yeah. And go all in. Yeah, yeah. Well,
it is
hoping for
it is
maybe hoping
working.
for a
So
redraft. Maybe he's hoping for a redraft in the not too distant. So we'll see. But anyway, let's get this one on. Slots against Dudley. Um, First half kicks off. Let's see what Slots can do here, if anything, up against Dudley Hill, who of course are brimming with confidence after that 4-0 victory last time out against the. Uh, Oh, and there's Thierry Henry. Get him firing for Dudley, and they're going to be even more dangerous. I think he was a little bit had a very high scoring season, then fell out of favor or didn't perform particularly well. But it looks as if he's back to his goal scoring best at Dudley. Giovanni though, getting involved there, probably getting the assist for that one. Elba with the equaliser for Sloths. It's not been a bad first half for them, apart from conceding that early goal. And there is the thing about Montero. Um, he is
he's
liable
got
to
it
this
in,
kind of shit, isn't he?
very much got it in the locker. Yeah,
I guess Desai potentially coming on for one of the midfielders or something like
increase
that.
the age as well. Yeah,
Yeah, bring the average age up a little bit. We'll see what he says. Not something that Steve would have been hoping for, but when you have Montero, you know it's a risk. You know there is a decent red card
yeah.
chance in there.
Presumably one of the AMCs is going to get.
Mm.
Um, if I'm Steve, it's probably going to be Ebby Sand
Hmm.
because Franca used to play for Sloths, and in the back of my head, I've got the yes
Yeah,
that this game has. So
that's
I
what he's
think
going for.
he's done exactly that. Yeah. So
Desai back, Franca in still with the arrow. Mm. And of course, Alf, you get to make a change as well, something I clearly forgot. last time out. We're at 45 minutes though, so I will just resume it and we can. I don't think there's any like. Yeah, there we go. That was no point in waiting for that. Yeah, so even first half up until 45, I think it was pretty much in the balance. Obviously, Sloss will be thinking they're going into the second half with a bit of an advantage there. What do you make of that? Giovanni getting the assists, Elba scoring goals. The narrow formation is gone. Sloss manager will be kind of, I mean, not expecting a win here, but certainly a draw, if not all 3 points for Sloss,
Yeah,
you would think.
Doom, you're in the ascendancy now if you're
Hmm.
Alf. Two very back performances there as well. The rest of the team not quite as wise, but yeah, you've got to look at this and think you there for the taking now.
Hmm. Hmm.
There was ever a time to beat Dudley home against 10 men, yeah,
Yeah.
and Magnus Hedman on a five.
Magnus Hedman on a five. We'll see if Steve wants to do anything here at halftime. I suspect not. He does have Henrik Larsson and Luca Toni on the bench. They are, of course, the attacking options. Fitness wise, he has no concerns, so I don't think there's going to be much from Steve at this point. Probably just roll till 60 and hope to hang on at least for the first 15 of the second half, and then yeah, that's indeed what he does. And then see if there are any changes required for the remainder.
Bit of a smart play from
Um,
both managers.
yeah, just kind of holding fire a little bit. Alf won't be surprised if they concede late. Well, Elba goes for the pile driver, and Amoroso. Oh, Maldini with a crucial tackle there. Amoroso probably should have put the home side one goal up. Maldini now getting involved as well, bringing the ball forward. There comes Thierry Henry, still goals in him. Right, we're on the hour mark or thereabouts, and we'll stop that. So yeah, Sloth's slightly better beginning of the second half here. Gattuso's down on a five for Dudley. That's not really what you want to see when you're already struggling defensively. That one of your, let's say, main men in this area is on a five as well. We'll see what the Steve thinks about that. Cafu down on 78. He'll probably survive until the end. Sloth, meanwhile, Marco Rema is a big standout here. He's on a five. Fiore Fitness is down on 79 as well. Al is not a big fan of low fitness or a big fan of fives. You think he's going to do something here, bringing on Kale for Rema perhaps?
Yeah, 100%. I think we're gonna see Sebastian Kerr, and you're probably right about Fiore as well. Um, you might can Rosicky? No, I don't think Rosicky can play out left. I'm not even going to try, but
Hmm.
he might be able to play out on the left. Amoruso can maybe play on the left. I think it's potentially struggling for options as to why he'll keep.
Hmm.
But yeah,
We'll see
here
what
for Roma. Yeah,
we'll see what
to
he
the three.
does. I'll pop over to and make Steve's changes first because he has already said Gattuso for Tony. Um, that didn't work. Gattuso for Tony. Um, and what? Tony left striker, Nedved central, no arrow. Okay, so he's not giving up, not giving up here. So those are the changes from Dudley. We'll see if Alf wants to do something. Um, Kale being the obvious, as we mentioned, and yeah, we'll see if he does anything else. Let's hope we're not in another the message hasn't sent scenario, but we'll patiently await the update from the slots manager. Um, yeah, I mean Rema has been doing well for him, I think, and I know he does rate him, so disappointed to see him on a six. Kill for Rema, that's it. Oh, that's short and sweet. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think
That was the obvious one.
that's yeah.
And as you mentioned, probably limited by the options in terms of the wingers. But let's see how it goes. Last 28 minutes coming up. It's Roberto Carlos who picks up a yellow card, and Sloth is still coming forward. Just slow that down a little bit, just so we don't miss any of the action. And there is a
Oh,
penalty.
penalty.
It's a card. It's only a yellow, though. Giovanni steps up and he
What
puts
a
Sloth
debut!
1-0 up. It's a debut for him. We'll see who picked up the yellow and committed the penalty. I kind of missed that, to be honest. But Dudley Hill are still in it. Alf says they might concede late. Dudley Hill had a chance there, net with a free kick. Giovanni now up the other end of the pitch, and there is Brookink as well. Elbow with a header. Headman pushes it away. Those slots win the corner. Brookink takes the corner. This he heads it away. We're headed into added time now, and Nedved is free in the area, but the Sloths keeper is doing very well, keeping them in that too. Plenty of action here. Will that be full time though? It will indeed. Cafu it was, says
Very
Steve, who
good.
picked up that yellow. That's a good result
Deserved.
for Sloths, that is.
Deserved. You did say at halftime that if there was ever going to be a time for the iron to be struck while hot, it was at home. The Dudley not, only got 10 men and the keeper's on a 5. So, yeah, very, very well deserved. It's there to steal it away from Steele.
Yeah, great out of league signing, Giovanni. Yeah, I won't dwell too much on the out of league signings and the problems we have with that at the moment. But yeah, we'll see if it's fixable. If not, we're just gonna have to go with what we have. Obviously, Giovanni with the assist, Elba with the man of the match award, Amoroso with the other assist. So good day for the attacking players here at Slots, and only really Raymer letting the side down. Steve blaming us for saying that he won't drop out of the top six. Which is fair. Commentators curse, obviously. Defensively, Dudley Hill, not a great day for them. A 5 and a red card for Montero. Poor keeper performance. 5 for Cafu as well. Um, Not really panic stations for Dudley. I guess he
Cafu
just wants
gave
his
that.
two. Oh, sorry.
So I was going to say, it looked like Cafu gave the penalty away. So
Hmm.
deserved, yeah.
I guess he just wants Nikki and David Collins back, and then everything's going to be rosy again, isn't it? I
Yeah,
guess.
very much so. I mean, as good as Franca is since starts, Ebby
Hmm.
Sand and Franca are not David Collins and Nicky Ferenco, are they?
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. Right, we move on with the next game of the evening, which is going to be what am I looking at?
Sancte still wanted to go early, didn't they? It doesn't look.
Yeah, Sancte's here. I'm not seeing Dan about. If Dan is about, he's normally here for the duration, so we could go Sancte and then go with LSK and Burn, if that's okay with everyone. Um, Martin, who would your CMO 102 aside team be? Same question to Smarts. I have no idea. I have no idea who's going to be in sort of any good at football, to be honest. I mean, clearly not Campbell because he's Scottish, so that I kind of
He
automatically.
played five-a-side with a few of them. In fairness, um, is the honest one.
He
Um,
meant in the game. Aha. Well, I was going to say I'm nearly 50, so I'd be in goals for sure. I'm not doing any running, but in the game, I
I'll
have
take
no
it to be
idea.
in the same boat. Yeah.
I have no idea, but I'll ponder that and get back to you when I have a moment. Oh, it's badger time. Is it now? You're being tricked, Tato. Sorry. You're being tricked. It's absolutely not your turn. Um, I've promised a bunch of people stuff that I'm not going to keep. But anyway, Ross said he wanted to go early, and I think he asked first. To be fair, in my memory anyway. So we'll do Sancte in honor of Duggan, who is also here, obviously. So we shall do that. Again, he's mixed things up a little bit, a different kind of formation, some long arrows, Van der Vaart, Boyer, whatever. It looks like he's still tinkering a bit. Sancte's long-term plans, what do you think they are? Is it clear, or is he going to continue to tinker until he strikes gold?
Well, tinkering now while you're having an app, but there are other teams also having an absolute shocker. So you're
Mm,
not going to get cut too far adrift. Um,
hmm
whether this is the right remains to be seen.
hmm
Interesting to
hmm
see. I mean, Band of Art and Bowie could very much do bits from that sort of Veron DM to AMC Arrow. I don't like Cambiasso at wing back.
Mm.
But for
But
me, it's
maybe
one of
he's not.
those.
Maybe he's not tasked with a lot of running. So, but we'll see. And Davis, Sean Davis, he started using. He's got a 7.5 average. He's been doing well. I mean, I guess he just wants some goals. Really, I think that's the main problem for the sides at the bottom. It's not really like overall performances have not been too bad from any side really. They kind of just really want to get some goals. We'll see if they get any tonight. And they're up against Fulchester. A couple of players are pretty unhappy after that game last time out. Three red cards, of course. I can't remember if it's the first time in Super League history or if we've seen it before, but it's definitely an unusual occurrence with I think three direct red cards. So, but
It's not like it wasn't two players on the team either, out of those three as well. Yeah, literally, if that's it, it's just game over. It's all
yeah,
gone.
it's
Interesting.
tough.
He's got plenty in the squad. To be fair,
Hmm.
the ice a lot of those reverting back to the wing.
Hmm.
Yeah, um,
I mean,
yeah, interesting.
Jagatas can definitely do stuff. He has got options on the right hand side as well. And Welsh is not bad, especially season four. I think I mean, he's maybe unlucky not to play a lot, but yeah, could be decent. Goalkeeper season seems to have stabilized a little bit. Frey's not been too bad, but that could all be about to change. Obviously, he has got Pizarro. He had hopes pinned on him, didn't really work out so far, but we'll see. A couple of things obviously in here, but we'll let the game decide for that. I know Dan likes the game to pick the captain. Beckham was set as set piece taker. I guess that's fine. He'll come back in eventually. Um, we kick this one off first half. Sancted home to Fulchester, both sides looking for a bit of a boost to their season. So we'll see who gets it, if any of them. It could have draw written all over it, but it looks as if both sides are definitely intent on trying to find the back of the net at least. Sanchez had a couple of good chances already. Fulchester with Jagatas down that left hand side has done a bit. He's already been involved a couple of times. Van der Bart as well, coming with the arrow, running forwards to the AMC role in attack. Um, yeah, it's been backwards and forwards. I'm not sure how much of it has actually resulted in shots on target, but there's been plenty of flashing text, which is also always good if you're the manager. Gives you a bit of hope instead of it just kind of sort of ticking along. Coming up to the
Yeah,
golden hour now for scoring goals just before half time. Riquelme, Van
it's one of those where
Nistelrooy.
this could either be 0 shots on target for either team or 4 from each.
Yeah, well,
So,
we'll see. We will see. We're just about to find out. Indeed, 11 shots between them. It's been all guns blazing so far, but not super effective. Um, yeah, Frey doing well. Everyone else on sixes and sevens.
yeah,
Nothing really to concern anyone. Fitness is
he's doing
already.
much there.
Yeah,
Maybe
if
Viduka at some point, probably.
yeah, you could argue that. I don't know if we've seen Viduka a lot. I'm not sure if he really rates him, to be honest, or if he's just kind of there just to have someone who looks like a decent backup striker. We'll look at Sancte. A lot more sevens than sixes. Kivu and Van der Vaart, the only ones
Far
on
better
six.
ratings for the three in midfield last week for Ross. I remember looking and seeing um, Boya and somebody else. The three in
Mark, did he have Mark Kerr in there and he did terribly or something
yeah,
like that?
exactly.
Yeah,
All
Mark Kerr
all
was there.
three stuck on fives.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
brutal at halftime. Full
Yeah,
of shit for
that's
Ross. So
depressing. We'll see if he does anything.
far better. So,
We'll see if Ross does anything at this
mm,
point, or if he's happy to roll. He goes as is until 60, so we shall
yeah,
do that
as
for
is. That's
him.
probably a good shout.
Yeah, Smirtin, Christenval, and
Football
whoever the last
ability.
one is. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
really the most
Yeah,
exciting bench.
seeing a lot of love for Hodges' footballing ability in the chat there.
Mm-mm.
There was a five-a-side team of Dimble and Stee absolutely destroyed uh, when I rocked up all the way from Leicester on one leg. So yeah, and
Mm-mm.
Hodgie, it was just like having just pulling strings.
Cheat
Fantastic.
code,
Yeah,
cheat code. Someone's
yeah,
always bringing a ringer, aren't they? No, never mind. Right, we're at the 60-minute mark. It's been Fulchester, actually, a little bit better at the beginning of the second half. Scott's made his five-a-side team. Robin and Rolandinho, Vieira, Samuels, enough goals in there. I'm not sure, but maybe. Um, Fulchester looking at that. Cillian Petrov has come into midfield and done a pretty good job. Ayala Isariello, that's never good. He's a little bit in that Montero category. But overall, very solid performance from Fulchester here in the second half. We're going to look at the Sancte. Christian Kivu is up on a 7. Van der Vaart still on a 6. Given the option on the bench, are we going to get to see Browers, Mark Browers in action, do you think? Who is he anyway? A region of something or what? I don't know. Which forward retires early? A Dutch forward that retires early? I have no idea.
Brian? No, can't be Brian Roy.
I
No,
don't know.
no idea. Don't know.
No. Yeah, well, we'll see. Bergkamp,
Steve
maybe?
bringing up his goal. That didn't take long. Yeah.
Tell them about my goal I scored past his. Funny that
You
guy
you
seems to
did
have
not
like.
score that past me. Trust me, I would never live it down past me, Steve. It was an absolute worldie. Um, very and yeah, he's been dining out on it since. Fair play.
Fair play. I
Um,
mean, that's what you do, isn't it? You score a
Rightly so.
goal, score a solid goal in a Sunday league match, and then you have a tale to tell. Van der
Oh yeah.
Vaart and Boyer to MC Brouwer for Ruud van Nistelrooy. Okay. Uh, so we're gonna do these. I presume we keep the arrows, otherwise, please correct me. And then Van Nistelrooy for Brouwers. And who assisted you, Steve? Doug, I'm guessing Duggan is referring to himself. Right, Scott's
The only
phone
thing I
might die.
remember the the only from that game that Duggan did was get nutmegged by me. That's the only because it's the
Hmm.
only thing I did in the game. So
Which is, which is, which is also good. Which is also good. Bit of a problem here for Fulchester. Um, they don't really have a bunch of attacking, relevant attack.
Welsh is going to be the
Just throw
option.
Welsh in there, isn't it? Not really much
Yeah.
else. Song, it doesn't make any difference to swap with any of them. I think we'll just leave it as is. Um, yeah, there's not really any swaps that make sense at this stage. Petrova, Welsh, nah, it's fine. It'll be like this. Um, Back up to full speed. Uh, and there is Hussain, his first goal for Fulchester. Manager not here to see it, will be delighted when he finds out. Sancte trying desperately to get back into this one. They did make the changes there at halftime, but it doesn't seem to have had the desired effect so far. Moving into added time here. Boyers to Brouwers, Van der Vaart, Santa Cruz with a huge chance just before the end, but it wasn't to be. Fulchester, perhaps surprisingly, with 14 shots, 9 on target. Not entirely sure what happened defensively for Sancte there, but they certainly struggled to contain the opposition. Sepp Frey with the Man of the Match award. That's not every day you see that from Fulchester. Again, manager will be delighted, and looked as if Hussein picked it up sort of out of nowhere. Um, Good timing, lucky win that. Yes, indeed, Dan. You came just in time to see me swap on John Welsh, and you hold on for the win. So congratulations, mate. Ross, commiserations. Um, Oliver Kahn on a 9. That's good news. Boateng on an 8. 8 for Van der Vaart. As we mentioned before in the previous game, for the teams that are kind of down the bottom, it's just getting that goal, isn't it? I mean, this is your kind of like, where's my goal? Where's what's he gonna do? I mean,
I mean, if you're pinning all your Van Nistelrooy and he's getting dragged at 60 minutes, it's
mm,
not ideal. Um, if you have really good players in there, I think top on his own. I think
mm. Did we lose? Did we lose?
to be in AMC
Oh, sorry.
DM options.
We just lost you there for a second, I think.
Um,
Well,
uh,
I did anyway.
yeah, I'm going to say my screen actually disappeared at one point as you
Ah.
It's all good. Yeah, Oliver Kahn. There's plenty of really in there to build the team around.
Mhm,
I think maybe the B would be with those players in mind
mhm,
is looking at the Ian Edwards formation,
mhm,
having Van der Vaart and Bowyer in midfield, in front,
mhm.
in behind, Raquelme, Ortega, and Van Nis should
That's a
absolutely.
that sounds like actually that sounds as if as a lineup and formation that's been in play before, but we'll see if he gets around to that. I'll hurry up just a little bit because Scott says his phone is running out of battery. I don't know if that's like a that's sounds like an excuse you'd use to your girlfriend, but but anyway, we'll we'll get Los Santos and Northern Burn on next. Los Santos have a couple of problems with Dyer obviously out for a while. Sinoni now suspended. He puts his trust in Lee Young Pyo coming in on that wing back. Bertram is in at DMC, and he's got one of the first regens that we've seen sort of active, a Sola Junior on the bench here. We'll see what he can do. He sticks with Brosek, Lee Chun-So, and Carlos Jacques up front for LSK. As mentioned, off to a half decent start, 3-2-2. That's definitely not bad. So I won't hang around too much with LSK. However, with Northern Burn, we have to speak a little bit about Northern Burn start to the season. Um, they've not had the easiest games, but
Struggle.
also not the most difficult. What do you make of that? I mean, obviously the Exiles defeat was big,
Um,
and then losing to
yeah, I
East
mean,
Coast and yourself,
the
they were home
yeah,
games.
realistically, the only team outside of probably the top six or is the Sloths, and he did get beat by them.
Mm,
Sorry. Um, so he has had a tough start. Aside, it shouldn't make any difference who he's playing. He should be the favourites regardless.
mhm, mhm,
So yeah, interesting to see if uh, Plan B, if the game engine has decided that this is the year that Northern Bear dominate as much as they were. So
mhm.
interesting. Yeah,
Could be implosion time at Burn, but let's see. They've got a tough match here, Los Santos at
you
home.
can't write Burn off.
True,
You could win. You
true.
could lose the next four in a row and still finish top six.
Go on a big run towards the end of the season. Well,
Exactly.
he's gonna have to stop Carlos Jacques first of all. That's always going to be tricky. And a couple of the guys behind him there. Lee Jung Pyo is the one who opens the scoring for Los Santos. But Mpensa fires straight back. Good entertaining start here. And there is Ferguson. He's fallen out of favor recently, but has just come back in. And there is Ocampo picking up an injury. A very eventful first 30 minutes. I think you can safely say that we have had here. I guess we'll see Kalatza coming on and some kind of shenanigans going on. I'll pop Kalatza straight in there, and Ian can shift them about as he wants. Very entertaining so far. Um, Ian would have been happy if it wasn't for that injury, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he does.
I mean, to be honest, he might even just leave it at that or swap him with and die.
Just a
Might
straight swap, he
even go.
says.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah, just
fair
a
enough.
straight swap. Steve says Lee Young Pyo from the DMR is mental, but I mean, who are you? Are you complaining? He scored a goal. Well, we'll see. We'll see if
If you're losing two players as Dyer and Zanoni, yeah, you may as well throw in a third
you can.
sort of wild card option. Why not?
What's my favorite, sweet or chocolate? Ah, uh, I'll have to consider that and get back to you. Um, Good first half, very entertaining. Lots of stuff happening. Burn goes as is. We'll go over to Art Taby, who's not done well. I'll let Scott ponder and see if he wants to do anything if his phone hasn't run out of battery. Um, I don't buy a giant amount of sweets or chocolates, to be completely honest. Um, so hard to say. Scott says roll. Would you have done anything at this stage? You've got Kessman on the bench.
No, probably not. Not yet.
But yeah, well, we'll see if
Give
he does at
plenty.
60.
If we scored first, I think you hold firm till six.
Yeah. Sports Mix is
And
actually a decent shout, Steve, by the way.
make sure it's decent. To be fair, that is a blast from the past. Years.
It's kind of a bit of an adult kind of gummy bear, isn't it? Because it does require some patience or dedicated
Yeah,
chewing.
in fairness, probably at your age, that's going to ruin the dentures, isn't it? To be
Oh, I'm doing very well, dentally speaking. It's-
fair,
Everything else is falling apart, but but the teeth are doing
the
great.
teeth are going strong. Yeah, kid.
Meanwhile, there's been a game of football going on, and Taibi is not doing himself any favors in terms of his chances of being reselected. Northern Burn 3-1 up. It was NDI who's on the score sheet now as well. I'm fairly certain that Mr. Edwards is going to roll based on this. So let's speak a little bit. Oh, Candela with 2 assists and only a 7. That's mental. Taibi off indeed. No patience there from the Los Santos manager with his keeper.
Absolutely understandable.
I believe Runya is the backup, and he wants to see Sola Junior for Brosik as well. Um,
Surprised that he's selected. In fairness, considering he was on an orange injury, he possibly didn't know he was on an orange injury from the front
mm,
screen by the blue front sign.
uh-huh.
Worth looking at that. Maybe click on him and see who is. Uh,
Fuck is
not good.
absolutely fine. He's got a bruised shin. He'll run. He'll run it off.
Right.
I'm sure. I'll give Scott a chance to retract the substitution if he doesn't want the someone with a bruised shin running around. Considering that Tato played Ryan Giggs for about 3 months with a broken leg, I think we'll probably do okay. So half an hour to go. Let's see. Let's put this one to bed. It looks as if Northern Burn's going to hold on, but you never know. One goal for Los Santos could be about to change everything. But oh,
Yeah,
it was the young guy. I think it was Solar to
inevitable.
Shax. Inevitable indeed. Um, Shax from
Oh, I
distance.
thought it
Oh,
was going to be another one then.
if this was a home save and Los Santos was the computer, they would have scored for sure. But they didn't. Northern Burn hang on. Good comeback from Los Santos there, just not quite enough. TB had unfortunately ruined it for his manager. Let's have a look at Northern Burn first. They don't get the Man of the Match award, although Candela somehow only a 7 with his 2 assists. Bit harsh. Verong with an assist and an 8. Impensa on the score sheet. No way back for Owen. Keeper throwing it in the bin. Sound. Well, it happens to all of you at some point during the season, Scott. So better get it out of the way early. Meanwhile, yeah, Scott mentioned it. Keeper threw it in the bin. I guess that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I mean, the potential if you you're probably going to lose, and if you keep us on a lose,
Yeah,
yeah, game engine may have slightly turned in Northern Burn's favour. Really good to see Carlos Jacks get his goal.
yeah,
And
that's
nobody
good.
asked me, but Strawberry was going to be my answer.
Strawberry, which ones?
Strawberry bonbons.
Oh,
Nice
when you talk about
hard
old
ones.
man, you can giving it big about old man sweets and then bringing up strawberry bonbons as if it was like,
That's why I went. That's why I went old man sweet. Yeah, if we go new age, you got to look at rocks.
okay,
They
cool.
were the one. They are like crack cocaine.
Falling out of cola cubes next.
Cola
Um,
cubes is a very elite sweet. In fairness,
right. Let's have a look. Where are we going next? What have we got left? I've kind of lost track a little bit. Um, oh, we'll go Badgers because he was desperate, wasn't he? Well, not. I was teasing him before, apparently. So we'll go Badgers. I know why he's so keen is because he's got Sigalko and Giggs and Mackay all back in action. That means that he's obviously
and he's playing bottom of the league as well.
so he's licking his lips at this one, thinking Rayet's gonna come away with 14 assists from this one. Um, Red Bounty. See, I get Bounty, but the whole digging out coconut pieces from your teeth afterwards. I mean, if it was a puree instead of having actual pieces in it, I would rate Bounty. But because of the pieces, it's a hard sell for me, to be honest.
And
Um,
but they are the last choice in a celebrations box for a
true, true, true.
or heroes, whichever one they're in.
True, it isn't one of them, isn't it? A couple of changes for Red Rose. Back comes in as a striker, or it plays as a striker, and Georgic comes in at AMC, losing a bit of patience with Rossini, with Nonato, with whoever else has been up there and not scoring goals. Um, Surprised that Westerveld is still, I mean, 6'5", 7'5", and he's still playing. I mean, I get that Roy Carroll and Marcus perhaps not aren't the greatest, but would you give one of the other keepers a chance after this?
Um, I there is times when you try out another goalkeeper.
Hmm.
Probably facing Sigalko this week is not the time to get
To go
out a new
experimenting?
goalkeeper. Yeah, although this is the same manager who absolute pieces out of Pitch Michael at the age of 73. So talking about a goalkeeper to Mike is
Well,
it's completely nonsense. So um,
we'll see how
yeah,
it goes this evening.
I think it's gonna be a Badgers win and by a couple of goals regardless. I think
We
Mike
shall
was
see.
probably right to lube up, as he said. Yeah.
Well, he's Werther's originals. That's a proper old man sweet, but they are good though. Um, we'll see. We'll see. They kind of had to crunch though, right? But that's a different point.
Here we
Mackay
go.
opening the scoring of the three people that Badgers got back this week. I don't think he was looking at Mackay as like, yay, that's the one. Giggs and Sigalko probably a little bit higher up on the list of people who were welcomed with open arms. But chance
Mate,
for
but I think
Stanley here. Klumpet goes off on a
don't
red
shit the
card.
tacit. Don't shit the back. Come on, do it for the
What is this?
lads. Come on.
Oh, Steve, texture is a deal breaker for me. Right, we'll see what Tato does with this one. If he's about, he was earlier anyway. Otherwise, he goes one at the back. If he doesn't come back, he goes one at the back. I believe that should be a rule. Fuzzy pink and blue cola bottles, man. Punk pink, blue
The
cola
pink and blue
bottles.
coat, they are, in fairness, the bubblegum coat, real fucking good. The absolute
Mm.
high you get off of them if you have 10 of them in a row.
That's a
It's a
fair
house.
point. Mike, you get to make a change as well if you want, as it's a red card, as I was informed. I thought
Oof.
everyone would have been praising the Percy Pigs. I thought they were like a thing. I bought like a bag of Percy Pigs once. I wasn't like hugely into them. I was like, well, yeah, it's like sort of chewy-ish things.
Only
Let's see.
available in Marks and Spencer's. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a big accusation there from Dimble that Edwards was a. Oh, he likes minstrel the chocolate sweet, not that he blacks up. Okay.
Right. Uh, what was I going to say? Did something happen? Oh, it's an injury to Edgar Davids. Well, you can't have a fully fit back. I was going to say I didn't press for half. What the hell's happening here? Davids has picked up an injury. Can't have a proper what you call it? Proper full fit lineup here. So you're gonna have to do something. This is kind of a tricky one. Um,
Yeah, there's too many attacking options now on the bench.
yeah, he goes with
He's probably going to be.
Ledenev with
Yeah.
an arrow to Rayat's spot. So it's going to be something like this. We'll just roll this one till half time. I guess that's just about to come up. Um, Sigalko continues to run into the box, low and hard, closed down by Ugo Ehia, and we reached half time. It's been pretty much all Badgers. They are a man down though, but Stanley are yet to do anything drastic about it. Badger stats, an assist for Ryan Giggs, so I guess he's back. Mackay with a goal, also back. If Savage doesn't want me to put a diagonal arrow on with the rules, etc., then leave it. Can't remember what the rules are. I'm sure it's fine. You could have done it now at halftime anyway, and you were at 46 minutes, so I'm sure he won't. I think Mike is going to take a huge amount of offense to that. Uguay is on a 5.
3 minutes. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Swimming in garlic sauce and kebab meat as per usual. As is for us, obviously. Kind of have to, yeah, because you don't have any subs left really to do. Stanley, does Mike do anything? Does he throw on Rossini? Why does everyone hate on Rossini? Is he not like a goal machine? Oh, I guess not in this save. He doesn't look like a goal machine, does he?
He's one of those sort of.
It's
I mean, he's
wild,
done really well,
wild
to
for
be fair.
badges.
10, 12, 6 in 30. So, yeah, to be fair, those numbers are far better than I would be expecting
We'll see if Mike does anything. He goes as is, at least until 60. Probably wise.
to do. Yeah, with that sending
Um,
off, at least badges have had the temerity to spit on it first before inching their way inside him. Um,
Taking it nice and slow. And
yeah,
there's a card being dished out. Someone, Zanetti, was involved somehow. I don't know who got the card though. George's moved too soon. Paredes, there's gigs coming forward. There is Tigalco, Ledenev. Um, Stanley players committing a bunch of free kicks rather than going forward. That's probably not what the manager was hoping for, but makes it till 60 without further
not
incidents. Oh, sorry, I forgot to pause it. Good point. Makes it to 67 minutes without further incidents. Um, Still only one shot on target though. Badges with 9 and 3. I guess
yeah.
with
Now's the time
Fuccini,
you've got to do something if you are Stanley manager. Um,
it's
Rossini is an absolute given at this point, probably for Djordjic and drop back. Um,
yeah,
maybe even bring Deisler on.
Deisler for Cheddar
Schmack, maybe, or Janicetta, yeah, one of them.
and Rossini up top
Um,
maybe or three up top. I don't know. I mean, oof. For the Bats, Tato's actually making his last substitution, which is fair. I mean, why not? Um, yeah, I mean, if you've already had an injury and a red card, are you going to get another one? I mean, I don't know, but it's it's worth taking a chance. We'll see if Mike wants to do something here. He does obviously have some attacking options at his disposal. He has done some slightly dramatic things in the past, of course, when the chips have been down, so to speak. Was all there's some
am
innuendo
I right?
going on.
Am I right in saying that Stanley is still on 0 point?
Sadly, yes.
In that
Sadly,
case, fuck it, go hell for leather, drag the Dede and Salihamidzic out wide, drop Janicetta back, go a 2 and 4, and throw 4 up front. Just
just to
absolutely go.
see, just to see what happens. Um,
You
well, we'll
you've
see.
got what is that minutes left or 33 minutes left? I can't do the math off the top of my head. Just
Mhm.
fucking go. Again,
Mhm.
similar position to Alf was in earlier, against at home and against of one of the better teams. This is your time to fucking
Yeah.
try and
I'm
get
gonna see
something.
what I'm gonna see if I can follow this here. Dede swap with Gianni Cheddar, so we'll do that. Um, Back to AMC with an arrow.
I would say next to Jordan.
Ronaldo to AMC with an arrow. Back to AMC with an arrow. Ronaldo to AMC with an arrow. Dede off for Rossini to SC. I've done something wrong here, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure what.
I think if you start again, I would say
How was it? Was it like this before? I
uh,
forget. Oh, these two was what,
I
weren't
would
they?
if you do cancel,
Ah, he wants the three aim. Ah, okay, okay. I get it. I get it. He wants.
that's the way I read it as well.
Okay, and then these guys go back here, maybe?
No, it'd be back. It'd be Ronaldo left, George middle,
And back
Tony
right.
right.
Okay, okay, okay. I get it. I get it.
Presumably,
Presumably like this. Uh, Back to AMC with an arrow, and Ronaldo to
yeah,
AMC with an
Ronaldo's down
arrow.
as well.
And AMC arrows. I'm done.
Yeah, all three
Yeah,
with arrows. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how I
yeah.
remember it.
Good, good. I think we managed it. Thanks very much, Mike. Thanks for your patience. Excellent. Well, let's see if it works. 23 minutes left to play, and Badgers have used their entirely futile. Oh, gotta love a bit of a sense of humor there thrown in. That's excellent. Who knows? Who knows? Here comes Georges with a drive, and he
There
has
you go.
equalised. Let's hope that it's not ruled out for offside. It isn't. So Stanley now on 1-1, and they are one man to the good as well. And there comes Ronaldo. Yep, Stan does something good, I guess, because Stanley didn't score. Gigs come forward though. Badgers can still create. They have got a free kick, dangerous free kick mm, down the other end. It's all go here. Chances at both ends. I'll take that if Badgers score five more. Who needs the cancel button? I will just drag things around, Edwards. I don't need your help or your good suggestions.
Sod the common sense. Start. Just wiggle it about and hope for the best. I
Just,
like it.
just shake the bag and roll the dice again. We'll see what
I
happens.
tell you what, that is a very good for Stanley. It's a shame it's 8 games in. Um,
I mean, he'll be happy to get a point. That he'll be happy to get that zero crack, won't he?
yeah,
And
it's
get a point. And to be fair, it's not worked out too badly with that formation or that change that he made there. If you look at the performances, Okoronkwo absolutely flying in the air, literally. And sevens and eights, it's definitely one of the strongest, if not the strongest, Stanley performance of the season, and a deserved point for them, I guess. Janacheta with the assist. Badgers, I mean, what can you do? Yeah, you get two players back, and then you lose two for the next game. Edgar Davids on 49%, so he's not going to be back until, I mean, a game or two probably. Um, Overall, is it a champing or is it a fair result considering everything?
yeah. I think on the face of it, you look at two shots and
Mm.
they suggest that might be a bit of a champing, but against 10 men
Mm.
and the absolute shambles Stanley have been in, you fucking take it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, Tato says if I can keep near the playoffs with my reserves playing every week, then I will take it. Yeah, that's two starters out again there, probably so. But yeah, we'll run with Haggis Exiles. Maybe Campbell is still around. I've not seen Neil, but we for sure have at least one of the managers. So we'll go with that. We'll go with the Battle of
The only one
Scotland.
left that isn't mine and Dimble's game, isn't it? So
Yeah, exactly, exactly. We're coming up to that one. We are coming up to an hour and a bit as well. So we've not been doing too bad. Um, just the one change. Data's on the market if anyone's interested. Did you not just sign Dede though? Can he be? Is he available for transfer? I'm not sure. Anyway, I am thinking that they put Solis in. Um, yeah, that is in the rules. Uh, they've never changed. Can't keep track. They've been the same. You can't. You can only move once a season. Anyway, I think he swapped them with Byrne before the start of this season, didn't he? So he has technically moved. But anyway, Exiles with Solis coming in at right back for Duff being the only change. There's a change at Haggis as well. We probably skip that quickly. It's Juan Gomez who comes in the middle for the suspended Jeremy's, keeping faith in Cruz at
to Trate
AM.
dropped. Am I,
Yeah, he
am
was
I
dropped
right in
last
thinking?
week, actually. He was dropped last
Oh,
week for Said. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he wants the penalty taker back, I guess. I mean, Said should be better anyway,
yeah.
but let's see how this one goes. Uh, let's see how this one goes. Yeah, lots of tears for Tetraza being dropped. I mean, I secretly think he's just trying to keep him at the top of the average ratings charts because he sits on like 8.5 or something. Oh,
Yeah.
well, he's
Gerard
gonna.
and snapping at his heels, if I remember rightly, and Z Elias as well. So yeah,
Yeah, I guess Tetraza comes in. The
that's
question is
regardless.
is is whether he wants to swap him with Saeed. We'll wait and see what Campbell says here. He can play in the reserve for the season. That's fine. Tetra straight swap. We shall do that. Continue on. We've had quite a lot of chances in most of the games so far this evening. Not a billion goals, but been pretty hectic, pretty text heavy, I would suggest. Haggis looked as if they were poorer in the first part of the half and better in the second one, but it's Raul who opens the scoring. I think he was assisted by Vieri. However, Cruz, who's a revelation for Haggis, has pulled it back to level. Great goal from him and an entertaining first half. I thought there were more shots in it than that,
Yeah.
fair play. Um,
See Daniel Cruz doing so well because I haven't got a fucking clue where you'd play him as a
that's no.
DMC. I just I genuinely looked at and I couldn't think where the fuck I'd play him.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his,
He could play
he's
right centre
to be
back.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's developed like pretty well in this particular save. To be honest, did he pick him up from Real? So yeah, he'd left Ajax, he'd gone to Sociedad, hadn't played, and then Haggis picked him up. He'd done well, and yeah, I mean, his 20 in dribbling, based on the recent kind of mental-ish testing that I did, dribbling is like fucking glorious. 20
It's like
dribbling is.
dribbling and crossing as should be really good.
Yeah,
Um,
crossing seems to have no effect. Crossing, I mean, I don't know at like this level, but in general, crossing doesn't seem to have a huge amount of, of impact actually on the wingers. It's really the dribbling, but centrally, I would also say dribbling is probably on all attacking players is probably good, but we can ponder that in the second half. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, but Ian says roll and Neil's not here, so I'll just post this on to 60. You look for crossing, you look for passing over crossing on your wingers. So you believe in crossing?
no, because I make a point of them trying to whip the ball in as much as possible,
Mm.
and then positioning basically for anybody with
True.
any defensive. Uh, um,
Yeah, that appears to be. I mean, it is broken, obviously. And it's a Ciro Berto with a goal for Exiles here. Positioning is and Cruz with an injury. I mean, it's a straight shot from Casas, I guess, but we'll wait and see what Ian says. But positioning is broken, of course. That's why for anyone who I presume we all know, but that's why the game kind of stops working after 20 seasons because all the defenders will have 20 positioning. So
it's impossible to score
because
passes. Yeah.
it doesn't reset. It's the one of the few stats, the only stat I believe that doesn't, on top of the four that never changes. It's the one that doesn't reset for programming reasons. I don't know. Anyway, straight throw from Casas. Just run until the 60 minutes here. And Nelka, um, not really had a giant effect yet, but of course he could still come good for Haggis. We'll get to 60 in a second, and I'll try and stop it this time actually, which I managed to do. Haggis still only with a one shot on target. Exile 6 and 3 now. Christian Vieri with the assist and Solis with the assist from that kind of Mike Duff covering position. Manager will be delighted watching this one back. Haggis, they've already made two substitutions. I guess Tomadera for Nicolas and Elka would be like the remaining obvious swap, but is that brave, risking taking Anelka off? He could obviously take a disliking to his manager over
Making
that.
fit at some point. Yeah, I think you probably realistically.
Mm,
But yeah, it's a quite
mm.
one for an
Yeah,
Elka. Um,
we'll see what Campbell does, if anything.
to see if he does take the punt on Madeira.
Yeah, longer arrows maybe. Tomadera for Nicholas, Anelka, swap to Tratsa and Said, and that's it.
Yeah,
Excellent.
perfect.
Good luck with the last half hour to Madeira. Um, could come in and do something, of course. 20 minutes left to play. Now is the time for someone to step up, but that Exiles defense kind of looked as if they're planning on holding firm, but you never know. And they're obviously always super dangerous with Vieri down the other end. Tomadera and Montella combining there, but it stays 2-1 for Exiles. Haggis did come back into it, 4 shots, 4 on target, but too little, too late as Damiano Tomasi picks up a 9 and probably moved to the top of the average rating chart. Very, very solid performance from him there. The assists and all that we've already covered. Haggis, too little, too late, but manager won't be too concerned. They stay top 3, I believe, with Dudley losing and It was just them and Exiles in that spot, I think. So yeah, he won't be too concerned, I guess, Campbell, but he'll be a little
Yeah,
bit annoyed.
if you're losing, at home
Hmm.
to any, but look at it, and I think I'm about to do the same. You look at the ones that you're okay. You're not too upset if it's an East Coast that you're losing against.
Mm. Well, you're about to potentially about to lose to East Coast. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, you've got the benefit of a fully fit squad. You say as is, because you've had decent results at least the last. I mean, the Badgers one was a little bit, but the other game, the Stackington one was obviously solid win away from home, and with Northern Burn you're at home. It is up against East Coast. Um,
Yeah, similar to the accusation I threw about at Los Santos. Really, I've only played Hag
mm.
6 really, and the only team I lost to. So then to see against a top side in East Coast if actually do something. So yeah, we'll see.
Fingers crossed for you, mate. We're about to kick this one off. Last game of the evening,
I don't
Foss
think I've
Road.
ever won while being on stream ever. So I'm
And you did used to go on a fair bit with 50, so I guess. Well, you found the back
okay.
of the net. 4 minutes in, is Crespo opening the scoring for the home side. This could be East Coast's first drop points of the season. Obviously, they will have to score two to maintain their 100% record 25 minutes in. It's still Foss Road looking slightly the better side, creating slightly more. Totti running down the wing as he does or has been doing for the last sort of 3 or 4 games anyway. Yellow card for Addy for East Coast there. Potentially a swap for new signing Decour if the manager wants to decrease the risk of a red. It's been
Oh
pretty
shit!
much all Foss Road. Manager will be
Oh,
delighted.
very
We'll look at
very much so.
we'll look at East Coast first. Kowalczyk and Addo on yellow
Absolute bane of my
cards.
Super League fucking life is Fabian Barthez.
Well, he's the bane of many managers' life. Let's see. Let's have a look at your side. You've got say Elias on a yellow, perhaps not a huge concern for you, and obviously Crespo getting the goal. All looking sort of pretty rosy so far. Tempted
Yeah.
to blink at 60, or you're happy enough, or tempted
This
to
this
blink at
is
halftime.
this is very much the time of the game. Tend to get a little message from my mystery man in the back. Says, "If you fucking blink, I will punch you in the dick." Um, so Doug, anything, leave it as is.
Well, East Coast are not leaving it as is. Romeo for goals, two up top, Aaron, Ronnie. He's
And
not there.
right on cue, don't you don't I get that? There you go. I don't dare. It is as is.
Well, you're going to be hanging on for dear life. Potentially, he puts on uh, Romeo for scores, as mentioned, and an arrow on Ronnie, and we shall run until 60 with that particular setup. Um, East Coast, as mentioned, they're making the substitution. First 5 minutes, nothing has happened, and here comes Totti forward again from that winger position. Addo does well at the in the East Coast defense. Bartes is also there with a save. Addo now comes forward. There's Constantino, but Hovland takes it. Szymkowiak obstructs Totti. Totti takes the free kick. Trezeguet come forward. Totti comes forward. Can't get past the East Coast defense though. And is East Coast trying things now? There is Ronaldinho. I think it was Szymkowiak with the cross. And East Coast just starting to create a couple of chances now. Szymkowiak again. Who can he find? He can find Romeo and Constantino and the pile driver and Nick Matulin with the good save there. Stops the ball. Saley is now coming forward. And it's Gerard to Kuhl over the bar, and we come up to 60 minutes. Crespo on a post goes past Addo. Will it be 2-0? There's Trezeguet with a volley. Arte saves it, unsurprisingly.
Time.
Meanwhile, though, down the other end, Lawson with a decent challenge. Yellow card picked up there for Roy Keane, unsurprisingly, just as we went for the hour break. It's still pretty much all Foss Road, although East Coast have been knocking on the door ever so slightly, but it's still Bartes keeping the minute. We'll see if Dimple wants to do anything before we jump over to Foss Road and get a word from the manager. Squeaky bum time. Still feeling okay? What's the status in the Foss Road camp?
Yeah, very much felt like we were there at that point. At one point, I read the text, withstand the pressure, and it very much felt like that was the that last sort of 15 minutes of in-game time.
Um,
Yeah,
Dimple goes Deco for Ado. You have
yeah.
got. I mean, you've not got. I mean, Yakubu. Is he a Super League winner with Bolton Phoenix potentially? I can't remember to be honest. He looks strong. We've not seen him. You've not made many
I mean, on
changes at
paper,
all.
he's fantastic, and he's an able fucking backup. But sitting in that lineup with those three DMs who are of last,
Yeah.
I think top average rating was Roy Keane, I
hmm
think top
Wouldn't
two,
surprise me.
and then Zielias and Gerrard are in the top two or three this season again.
hmm
So he's just not getting in that three. I'm going as is. But yeah,
Well,
that
good luck.
I've got a feeling that me. Yeah.
You might get you never know, you might get a second straight away and put the nerves to bed a little bit, but it's it does get a little bit nerve-wracking, of course, once the green and white starts flashing up. But it's Crespo.
Go on, go on.
Bartes somehow can't hold it. Rustico is the one who picks it up for East Coast. That's the first 10 minutes of the last 30 survive. Brilliant tackle from Keane. Doesn't pick up a second yellow, which of course is also always a risk from him. Indirect free kick given now. Still 20 minutes to play. Robin getting involved there. We haven't seen as much of him in this game as we have done previously. There comes East Coast forward. Lausen with a good tackle. Romeo goes to the ground, but there's a free kick and Ronaldinho misses it. 10 minutes to play now, and Foss Road still holding on. East Coast only sporadically creating chances, and it's Emerson intercepting it here, but he can't control it. Trezeguet gets it. Robin and Turam are in close contention. I don't know, something like that. Here comes East Coast though, 2 minutes to be added on. Will there be another twist in the tail, or will Foss Road hold on? There comes Constantino. Totti now comes forward. Last chance of the game potentially. There is Trezeguet. Bartes saves it, and Bartes again with a double save there. And East Coast have done well to actually stay in it, but will they get the last chance of the game? They will not. Robin dispossessed by Keane.
Woo.
Foss Road hangs on.
Ugh,
Um,
on
yeah.
paper, that is reality. My arsehole is puckered to within an inch of its life.
Yeah, I hope you appreciate me keeping it on fast for the end of the game there. I
Yeah,
just
it
thought
really
with
did.
the
Yeah, the game for me paused at 88 minutes and held on the screen for what felt like an hour
well, well,
as
well,
well. So I'm really, really glad that
massive.
Fabian fucking Barthez has never got less than a 9 against me. I'm sure of it.
Well, he's doing well. He's doing well to be fair, but none of the other East Coast players really did this evening. So full credit to the Foss Road manager and lineup for holding firm and for giving everyone hope. East Coast can be beaten, as you can see. All you need is Hernan Crespo
Yeah.
and Totti and the three best DMCs in the league on paper anyway, and then you'll be fine. So don't worry. We'll see.
Yeah, I hadn't even clocked that I'd be the first team for East Coast, let alone beat them. But I think they'll be fine this season. Fucking mate.
They probably will. They
I
hang
think
on
they'll avoid
to
relegation. I think they'll avoid.
just about. Just about. They hang on to first spot anyway. Quick look at the table and the upcoming fixtures before we go, obviously. Um, East Coast still on 21. Exiles and Hag is now both on 18 after that Exiles win. Foss Road with a game in hand up into fourth. Can't get to third even if you win it, but still, every little helps, I guess. Dudley are there and Badgers as well without having a full squad for a long time. Los Santos drops below with that defeat. Northern Burn closing in on the playoff spots here as well. Sloths up to 10 points as well, looking good. Vikings on 9, Fulchester now on 7, Stackington, Sancte, and Stanley down at the bottom, but at least everyone now with a point. on the board. Fixtures, as mentioned, there's going to be I don't know exactly when and how, but there's going to be a very quick sort of a 3 game turnaround at some point. I'll ping the individual managers ASAP.
When's the games after that in terms of days? If it's really quick, it's 4 days afterwards. Just do a double game week.
Do a double game. We'll see if we can squeeze that in at some point for those celebrating. It's a Fat Thursday next Thursday, so I'll be uh, about 900 donuts in uh, by 9:30 and well into my sugar rush, so that might go well. We'll see. We'll see. It might be a good call. We shall see. Um, anyway, I really enjoyed this evening. Good to have you on. I apologize for the sound. I believe you dropped out a couple of words here and there. So apologies for that. Not sure what the cause is, and
Probably my internet rather than yours, Martin. I wouldn't
I
worry too much. Yeah.
I couldn't fix it. Last words from yourself. Last observations.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. It's as much as the sweat dripped through for that last game there. Um, but yeah, enjoyed that.
Good,
Fucking
good.
not a single dull game as well. It's always a 0-0 when I'm on at some point. So I think I've broken that curse at the very least.
Looks like it. And of course, East Coast unbeaten run being broken, being the main story of the show. Thank you very much for joining. If anyone is interested in co-comps, then obviously just drop me a note. If you've already mentioned it and I've forgotten, please drop me another note. I believe Alex threatened once he bought a microphone or something like that. We'll see how it goes. You're of course always welcome, all of you. Thank you very much for this evening. Thank you everyone for
Cheers,
watching and
Martin.
listening. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll speak to you all soon. Good night.
Toodles.